What is up, everybody? You know, I always start this show off by showing love to those companies who help make this show possible. First is going to be my good friend over at HVAC Tactical. My man Ben Poole does amazing things, and obviously we're talking about it because is coming up, which means the HVAC Tactical Awards are coming 2025, which is an amazing time. Tickets are sold out now. So if you don't have them, it's sadly going to be too late. But I want you to know that you can go on their YouTube channel, so you can live stream it from the HVAC Tactical YouTube channel. Please go show your support. All the votes should have been in already. So all the awards are already set and being made. So voting is done. But if you cannot make it, if you're not there, please go watch it on the YouTube channel. Show that support. It's an amazing time, and it's cool to see the cameras going around for the live stream. So definitely check that out. Especially help support all the amazing sponsors that Ben gets that helps make these things so amazing, and they keep getting better every year, which is just crazy because the first one was awesome. So now when you go back and you see what it is now, it is absolutely an amazing night. So thank you, Ben, for what he does for putting this on. As you know, I have my own hardware. So anyway, but also not even just that, I want you to remember about HVAC Tactical's magazine. Make sure you're going to check out that. This is something he made just for us. So go check out these magazines, some awesome ones. You might even see your boy in a couple of these, but go check out the magazines. They put in a lot of work for these articles. They're very awesome. They're good reads, so go check them out. And then last but not least is going to be the gear. As far as I know, Ben still has my discount code working. I don't know how long he was going to keep it. It may not still work. But if you go use the discount code HVAC Uncensored, no spaces, you'll save 20% on your order. So that's going to be any kind of t-shirts, sweatshirts, all that kind of stuff. And as far as I am concerned, you guys see that I always rock HVAC Tactical gear. Yes, Ben has given me quite a bit, but I bought almost everything that I have because Ben's my boy and I want to support his brand. And the quality that he puts into this stuff is absolutely amazing. So go get yourself something and try to use the HVAC Uncensored discount. Hopefully it still works. It's been almost a year now that it's been up, but it will save you 20% off your order. If not, all these things are reasonably priced. And for the quality of the product you're getting, it's worth every penny. All right. So go support HVAC Tactical, my buddy, Mr. Ben Poole. Next, but not least, is my friends over at COMPANYCAM. I know a lot of you that are not business owners, managers, you can't make this decision, but COMPANYCAM is a tool that you need to have in your arsenal. I don't care what size company you are. Nowadays, it is all about being digital pictures, before and afters, tracking it, all that kind of stuff. And nobody does it better than COMPANYCAM. We use COMPANYCAM at Beltway, but now the way we utilize it at SuperTech is absolutely freaking awesome. All these pictures from the sales go to the installers. I can tell who took the picture, when they took it, where they were at in the house. All these different things, they mark the pictures up, and the communication between the sales and the install manager and the install team is absolutely flawless. And all of this can integrate into whatever CRM you're using. I don't care if you're using Service Titan, HouseCall Pro, Sarah, Jobber. COMPANYCAM integrates with almost every CRM out there. It makes it absolutely amazing. No more having pictures on your cell phone. Can't find pictures of your kids, your girl, your man, whatever floats your boat. This keeps it on that app, so it's not taking any storage off of your phone. They keep it up in the cloud. And nowadays, being able to show customers before and after pictures in a professional manner, nobody does it better than COMPANYCAM. All right. With that being said, man, if your COMPANYCAM is something you're interested in, you'll see it going across the top of the screen. And it's also, the link's going to be in the show notes down below. But go to www.compancam.com/HVAC Uncensored, and they will give you a 14-day free trial to check it out. And then after that, they will give you 50% off your first 2 months for being a part of the HVAC Uncensored Nation. So go give COMPANYCAM a try. With that being said, let's get on with this pledge. Let's get on with the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil KB Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. I am your host, Gil KB Jr. Here we are, another Wednesday, another hump night, and another amazing show for you guys. I am so looking forward to the show. If you guys don't know what XOi is, I have had the CEO, Mr. Aaron Salo, on, and I probably said his last name wrong. Very amazing person, man. I thoroughly enjoyed having him on the show and talking to him. So when this was able to be booked to have them back on, I was like, oh, hell yeah, let's do this. Because I thought the technology was neat then. So I can only imagine what they're doing now. And some people get scared by technology, but let's be honest, that's the world that we live in. And HVAC is no different. Technology is catching up. AI, all these things are catching up to our industry. And it's one of those things that it's here, it's coming, whether you like it or not. Kind of like some people don't like the refrigerant changes and stuff like that. Well, guess what? It's here. You don't have to like it, but you have to deal with it. So that's the same way I feel when it comes to technology is let's be on the front end. Let's be on the front wave of it and not on the ass end and it's passing you by. So I am super pumped to get into the show tonight. That we have Mr. Adam Weigle. He is one of the enterprise customer success managers, and I'm super excited to have him on. So if you could please put your hands together and do a warm welcome for Mr. Adam Weigle. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Gil. Thanks for having me on, man.
Of course, man. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. I really do look forward, man, because I thought it was awesome what I heard before. And that's been a good while. So I can only imagine what you guys have going on now.
Yeah. It's crazy technology. You just mentioned it. It's just in a year span with technology and the way things move and so quickly, products are just releasing updates on a weekly, monthly basis now that are just at exponential speeds that are just helping technicians more and more, helping the industry more and more. So I'm excited to share some of our big key updates we've unleashed here in 2024 with your audience.
No, that is awesome. Sorry, I was trying to move the screen around and I'm taking stuff off and moving things around. My fault. Yeah, no, if you don't mind, I guess most people should know, but God forbid they don't. If you don't mind just giving a little brief description of exactly what you guys do, and then we'll get into some different topics.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So XOi is, our founders started this company about a little over 10 years ago now. And XOi is a job capture and technician enablement tool. And so we focus on the job. When you think of technology out there, you think of technology that's running your business, CRM databases like a Service Titan, like HOUSECALL Pro, Pazer, there's a ton of them out there. We integrate with the majority of them. But a lot of those technologies are built around running your business. I need to dispatch Gil to this job. I need to route him to the job. I need to make sure we're invoicing, accepting payments, writing some job notes down. But the large part that's forgotten is the job, right? And when you think about this massive skilled trades gap that we are in, and it's only going to get worse, exponentially worse, what part of the technician's journey is that impacting? The job. right? And so our platform is meant to go all in on that moment in time, Gil. When the technician is pulling up to the job, you're taking out our app, you're accessing our app, and you're going through our job capture tool. And we have a lot of technician enablement and efficiency tools like OCR. We can read your data plate. We have an AI feature for work summaries, and a lot of different cool features that really take a lot of kind of pain in the technician process and the journey today. And we can automate a lot of that.
That is amazing. My good buddy, Mr. Jason Johnson, says XOi is pretty freaking sweet. I like using it a lot. So
nice. Nice, Jason. Thanks for the shout out.
Yeah, that is awesome. So now that you guys know a little bit about that, and we'll get in, please feel free to ask questions. We'll have time at the end. If you do questions, make sure you put it in the all caps. Rookie and the rest of Jason, the rest of my moderators will help guide you, but all caps or you might get missed. The other thing, I guess, so how long have you been there, and how did you get involved in this? What is your background?
Yeah. So I've been with XOi it'll be 4 years in January. And I've primarily worked in software my entire life, but what kind of got me into this kind of industry was, my family growing up. My grandfather owned a construction company. My dad worked there for a brief period of time. And my father-in-law has worked in the trades. He's a licensed electrician. The guy built my wife's house with his bare hands, literally the entire house. Anytime we need anything done, he comes over and he pulls me next to him and he says, "All right, buddy, like go ahead and pick up the tools. You're going to be doing this with me." And I've always had such growing up alongside my dad, where if there was an issue, my dad fixed it. He always went and used his hands. My dad, I loved the fact he was always a woodworker. He loved just using his hands. If anything, I was the oddball that was like, why are you going to college and why are you going into this software thing? But our user base is really the big reason I love this job so much. The blue collar trades, you don't see any better people out there. I mean, it really makes you appreciate when you walk into a room and you flip a light on, when I can go to the bathroom and I can flush a toilet, when I can sit in a nice, comfortable room when it's 20 degrees outside right now, and this room is great, right? It really makes me appreciate those men and women that are out there and making sure the stuff you normally take for granted, you really shouldn't take for granted. And the knowledge and the intelligence, the work ethic that those people have, it's enviable. And so I love our user base. And big reason why I really love this job and the solution that we offer. So
that's awesome, man. And I love hearing that, because I agree. I do think that it's a lot of what the blue collar trades do is taken for granted until something goes wrong. And I feel like so many people out there have, a good percentage have been impacted by the blue collar trades, meaning somebody in their family has done it. And I get it. You want your kids to go to college and all that kind of stuff. And, people try to do that. But to realize that they know somebody in the trades or a family member or whatever it is, that it impacts so many people. And also tell people is computers can't replace us. Robots can't replace us, at least not now. And that's one of the things that I love teaching younger guys and getting them to make good money. It makes me feel so good. And I also always say that besides maybe real estate, blue collar has made more quiet millionaires than a lot of other trades.
That's right.
These guys may look like they don't have a pot to piss in, but trust me, they're not hurting for anything. They just don't.
That's right.
They're not walking around in Gucci suits, but they're doing very well for themselves.
Yeah, when I was growing up, it was go to college, go to college, go to college. I love the culture shift we're in right now, where actually the trade schools, they're getting overloaded now. More and more people are going to trade schools, and they're making very, very good money. Do you want to go to college and get a 4-year degree and be in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth in debt to go make $40,000, $50,000 a year? No. And this is go actually figure out a trade that is makes you useful, use your hands. And I love the culture shift. I really do. I have 3 young daughters at home, and I'm not going to be preaching college to them. I really want them to figure out their own path. And that includes 100% the trades as they get older and they start kind of going out into the world.
Yeah, I mean, I have 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls. My girls are younger, 7 and 8, but my boys are 19 and 16. And my oldest son, this is the second time he's worked for me. Um,
Wow.
and I think he eventually he's always wanted to go into the police academy, which is fine. But he's going to wait till he's 21. But I said, hey, come learn to use your hands, learn how to use tools, and even if you could fix things around your house, it's going to save you money. And who knows, maybe you might love it. But I said, I want you to do it because you want to do it, not because dad does it. But
Mhm.
at least you'll have something to fall back on. So I love that because the days of, I'm second generation, the days of me working with my dad and my dad's no longer here, I'll cherish those forever. It's awesome. So I love hearing that kind of stuff. But yeah, the trades are getting huge, and I love seeing the younger generation. For a while there, we used to say trying to find a younger, well, now it's women too, so younger person uh, that had like a good mentality, good work ethic, the morals and values that you want. We used to say it was a unicorn because they were so hard to find. But they're popping up more and more, and most of them they don't know anything about the trade. They didn't go to trade school. It's like, hey, I can teach you the trade. I can't teach you to not be a shitbag. So
Right.
if you're a good person and the right
Exactly.
I mean, I can teach you this trade and teach you how to make money. The last company I was at, and I say it all the time because it's a badge I wear on my sleeve, is I had 3 to 4 guys under the age of 25 making $100,000+ a year.
Wow.
We had to ethics.
Wow.
I don't teach that bullshit ripping people off stuff. But we had to give some of them financial lessons because a couple of them were like, "Hey, I make more than my parents. Like, I don't know what to do with this." And
Right.
that's awesome. It's a good problem to have, and that's what I want people to know. When young people, if you're watching this podcast and you hear this, yeah, you got to start off. You got to bust your balls a little bit. You got to put in some work to do it, but you can make a very, very good living. So
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things. There's also value in doing not just hard things, but, when I worked with my father-in-law, when you do a task that takes a long time, everything today is just instantaneous, right? It's just instant satisfaction.
the Amazon work.
And exactly, Gil, right. And when you do something that you have to methodically build from the ground up, and it takes a long time, and it takes sweat, and you're going to be uncomfortable. And there is so much value in doing that. When you are done, you just see the world differently, and it's in this world where everything is instant gratification. If you delay that gratification, for your young listeners out there, try to delay some gratification because instant gratification is so easy. Take the hard way every once in a while, and you will learn tremendous lessons. You'll actually appreciate it a lot more as well.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree with that more. I preach that to my kids all the time. But speaking of the trades and how you guys are helping the trades, I know there's a bunch of different things to get in with what you guys are doing. But I know one of the things that we wanted to get into first is, what challenge or I guess demand led to you guys doing these updates to what you guys have? Because I know there's been a whole bunch of updates. You guys already had a bunch of stuff, and now there's a bunch of more things that you have.
Yeah, Gil. Yeah. So what we've released in the last couple months in this year in 2024 is something that we call Premium Insights and Advisor. We'll get into kind of more of what that is, but how we led to kind of these new product lines that we're releasing is, when you think of what we're a job capture tool, and our OCR capability, able to take an image of a data plate and we can extract make, model, serial number, things like that. Well, we've done that for years now, Gil, and we've collected a bunch of job information. And so when we operate in this MEP space, this mechanical, electrical, plumbing space, we start understanding gaps in the field service industry. And so we started understanding, it kind of goes back to what I said at the beginning with the field service management platforms. Really, they're meant to run your business. No one's really focusing on the job or the technician. And when you think about a field service business, the 2 most important aspects of your business is the technician and the equipment they're sitting in front of. Well, what's the least amount of data or information that you have in a field service business? Information about your technician and information about the equipment they're sitting in front of. And so let's think about today, right? I went to a number of work conferences this year, and the amount of folks, when it just says how many of your technicians collect manufacturer, model, and serial number on equipment on every single job, nobody's raising their hands. It was very intermittent. It's like, yeah, maybe they might be capturing it. They could be typing it in, but they're fat fingering it. There's a lot of bad data out there. They're probably scribbling it on a piece of paper. They might get a picture, but then somebody in the back office is going to have to go write that stuff down. And so that's essentially today, Gil, what good looks like, right? Well, at XOi, we have the ability, we're taking a picture of data plate. We're extracting that make, model, serial number. We're extracting manufacturing date. And with Premium Insights and Advisor, this new program we're offering, this is the exciting part, is we're getting up to 30 points of data on every serial number we capture. So think of having not just the age of the equipment, Gil, but think about having the refrigerant type. Think about having the life expectancy. Think about having BTUs. What's the equipment type? What did the technician do? They just took a picture. There's air filter sizes. There's belt sizes. There's the fan motors. There's all sorts of different metrics we can now pull off one serial number that we have captured in our database. And so now that takes a field service business from just completely operating in this, it might be capturing a model serial number, to now really fully understanding their asset ecosystem.
That's sweet. And to be honest, that's information that we should be getting on every single call. So to make that easier and more efficient it's amazing. And what I love about you guys too is it's not just like residential, commercial. Like you guys have a little bit of everything, correct?
That's right. Yeah. So we operate heavily, obviously, in the HVAC space, but we partner with electrical, plumbing companies, commercial kitchen companies as well. Anything really that's in that space with serialized equipment is really kind of our bread and butter. But we're heavily operating in the HVAC world from our data collection standpoint. But yeah, to go back to what you just said, Gil, you should be capturing that on every single job. It should be part of your on-the-job process. And that's where XOi can really, really shine. If you're not capturing that information, you're going to constantly live in this reactive state. You're constantly going to have all these inefficiencies built into your business. So how do you move to more proactive? It's really understanding your technicians and the equipment that they work on. And this Premium Insights and Advisor, it just takes it to the next level.
I love that. So I'm curious to what other, because I don't know if this is true. I've heard people, I know about this, but I haven't used it myself, so I won't sit here and pretend to lie. But some of the data it gets, like, can't you like get into like the parts breakdown and stuff like that, or no?
Yeah, you can. So It depends on the big core of our platform is obviously the equipment data capture, but we have something that we call workflows in our app. And so workflows are essentially a sequence of steps to capture information. Think of like your tasking, your maintenance tasking, right? Where you have a workflow that you're going through. This is in a digital app though. So we're collecting all that data. So part of your workflow, when you're creating them in XOi, they're all customizable. You can have parts in there. So you can have certain notifications where the parts need to be ordered. You could say yes. It automatically fires off to your parts ordering person in the back office. They have the model serial number that was captured off your picture, and now they have all the information that they need that was captured in the workflow to go ahead and order those parts. So our workflows are highly configurable, Gil. You can put them more around parts. You can put them more around a service call, more around an install or a maintenance. But yes, all that data capture is possible in the application.
Sweet. Yeah, no, I love that. Anything that helps, like I said, make technicians more efficient, I am all for. I'm more for quality over quantity. I rather a person be able to get it right. But if you can have a person that can do quality and can do like a call or two more, that's only benefiting them and everyone. Because I know a lot of guys, they're like, hey, I want to get off, but in the same token, I want to work. I'm trying to make money. I want more opportunities. So now they can be efficient where maybe now they can do 6 calls, but they're still getting off at the same time. Because my thing is, I want you to work hard and do it right when you're there, but I also want you to be home for dinner,
Right.
We all have lives, we have families, and I want you to remember what you're doing it for. I think the days of, starting at 6, 7 and having to work till, 9, 10 o'clock at night, it doesn't have to be that way, especially in the residential world. All right. So I know another thing we were talking about, I guess if you could talk a little bit more about the role of data and insights in today's modern field service business.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you think about data, everybody listening is probably like data, right? Our world is overloaded with data. When you just think about outside of HVAC, Gil, I mean, think of, I'm in fantasy football. I love football. And just in my fantasy football app, I get all of these catch percentages, and it depends on, I have a higher percentage when this receiver is in the middle of the field as opposed to on the sideline. And so the world is, there used to be a saying that software is eating the world back in the day. Well, software has ate the world at this point, Gil, right? Yeah. Now it's data's eating the world. And so it's everywhere. I'm a big music listener, so I listen to a lot of Spotify. And I just got my Spotify Wrapped here at the end of the year during the holidays. They always give you your Spotify Wrapped. So if you listen to this type of music in August, well, you must have been feeling really sad because you're listening to a lot of blues, And so it's pretty funny because it's just aggregating a bunch of data. And so when you attribute to the world in data everywhere, and it's just eating, it's all over the place. Customers now are expecting data. So when you think of your end customers in the HVAC industry, why are we falling so short when it comes to data? And because the HVAC is largely, a lot of the data is around, how fast are we getting technicians out to the job, and are we dispatching the right technicians, which is critical, by the way. So you want to make sure that there are aspects of your job that is performing from a data standpoint. When you think about where XOi sits, we sit on the job. The job data is very, very non-existent today. When you think about technician data, you think about, again, I go back to equipment data. That is critical in today's world. And your end customers understanding what's the life expectancy of this data, of this piece of equipment. Because what you are getting them is you're selling uptime. Your customers need to have uptime. Right. And so data can help make sure and make certain decisions to ensure that uptime is always at its peak. You never, ever lose your uptime. And so these premium insights and the advisors product lines that we've released, where we're going all in on that job data and especially the equipment data, you can start really understanding your building. If you're a commercial, let's say I'm a commercial asset owner, right? I own I'm a facilities manager. We can now start to really not just give you all of your assets that are on top of your building or on all of your buildings. We can take it another layer further and say, this is the age of them. This is the life expectancy of them. This is how much R22 you have and what you can expect to probably have to recover or replace in the next couple of years. This is the type that you have. This is a lot of gas, and your initiatives are to go to more electric. How can we start being more proactive and consultative with our customers when you have this data set of the equipment that your technicians are seeing every day, way beyond just the age of the asset? What's the actual specifications and the birth certificate and the interaction data that technicians have had on that piece of equipment?
Yeah, no, I love that, because I always say, when I teach technicians, I want you to be good technically and able to communicate. Part of that, I never use the word sales. That communication, part of that is being able to educate the customer. Having these data points to be able to use for education just helps make what you're doing more powerful. It adds validity to it, and especially when you're starting to mention these things, you don't have to guess or use a rule of thumb, because you have the legit data in your hands. And I always tell people lie, numbers don't, data doesn't. The data is the data. You don't have to like it, but it is what it is.
That's right.
So you don't have to go in there and try to bullshit people if maybe it's something, it's the guy, I know 80% of what's going on with this, but the 20% I'm not sure. Well, that data can help, guide you in the right direction so that you don't have to guess or stuff like that anymore. So I love that. And the fact that it gives all of that information to you, like, bam, it's just sitting there.
Right, exactly. And you look at the HVAC industry today, and you look at all the different configurations of equipment. You look at all the different manufacturers. It's very disparate. There's no structure or uniformity. So that has been a huge problem in the HVAC industry. Is just this model number, this serial number. When you decipher it, every single manufacturer is different, but every single one of those numbers and letters, they mean something. And so our platform has been able to release this feature that can now add more structure, more uniformity. So now you can look at multiple different types of equipment, but you're all looking at the same playbook and you're looking at the exact same data set. Whereas today it's very disparate. It's kind of all over the place. I compare it a lot, Gil, to the automobile industry. When you think of Kelley Blue Book or Carfax, yeah. I have a 2004 4Runner, and I won't forget. I ended up plugging it into Carfax. I think when I first got it, it showed me the common issues with my 4Runner. It showed me that the window actually got busted out in 2010, and it had to be replaced. This was before I even owned the car. Right? So think about that level of centralized data, but for an HVAC piece of equipment. It's not just going to tell you the born on date, the birth certificate of it and the configuration, but it's also going to say the interactions it's had with certain technicians and type of work that's been done on it. That is where we're going with our application, very similar to how the automobile industry has worked for a number of years now. And that's just due to millions of people taking their cars into Valvoline to get their things serviced on a weekly, monthly, basis. And so that centralized data set is where we're trying to get to with the HVAC industry and the data sets that we have in our platform.
I love that. I didn't know that you guys did that. To be able to get a new customer and to go in there and give them, because I always say, give them that wow factor, set the expectations. And I can go in and say, hey, I know it's our first time out here, but I see that you've had your inducer motor change, your compressor's been changed, this has been changed, that's been changed. And they're like, how the fuck does this guy know that? You've never been here before. That's powerful. That is awesome. And not everybody's doing that, because that's what I tell people as we evolve. It used to be like, wear nice uniforms, wear shoe covers, and do this and do that. Well, now those things are the norms. They don't help you stand out. But something like that is... That's pretty awesome, because I was going to ask, that's how I was going to tie on to the next question that I had down is, how does this, what you were talking about, the premium insights and the XOi advisor impact the field service industry from OEMs, distributors, and just contractors in general? But you're already kind of diving into that.
That's right, Gil. Yeah, you're right. I'm kind of naturally going into that. When you think about the whole ecosystem, and you think about this data that we're talking about, right? Today, we're collecting the origination data, all of the refrigerant type and the BTUs, and you're simply capturing a picture as a technician. Very little input on a tech. You just capture a picture. XOi is going to get all that information off that data plate and all of that equipment origination data. And then you marry that with interaction data. So what has actually been done on the equipment over a certain amount of period of time? Distributors don't want that information. Yeah, they want that information. I mean, think about that. That can help a distributor train their dealers better. It can help train their service professionals better, their installation technicians better. It can help OEMs make better products, right? And so that's where manufacturers can look at this data, this interaction data, common issues, symptoms, issues, resolution data tied to that origination data for that piece of equipment. And so now you're impacting the whole ecosystem. You're not just having a tool for a technician to enable them better and to easily capture job information. Now you're impacting that field service provider. You're impacting that distributor. You're impacting that manufacturer of that piece of equipment. The whole ecosystem benefits when you have that type of data.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. I hope the manufacturers take it, because they're worried about this, but
right. Well, when you think about warranty claims, Gil, right, on a manufacturer level, that's exactly right. And so, that type of data can help with that, right, with warranty claims and things like that. Because, manufacturers, they pay a ton in warranty claims every single year. That type of data can really help decrease that number.
Well, my buddy Jason is selling this stuff for you. That's just his third comment. It says the tags in XOi makes it easier for another tech to find the information they need.
That's right. Yeah. So when you are capturing and going through our workflows in XOi, not just the equipment information. Yes, the equipment information is easy, but we automatically tag the equipment information. You can go into XOi if your team's using it. I can just put in the serial number I'm sitting in front of. And you can search for all the technicians in my organization that have seen that piece of equipment or the model number. What did they recommend? What issues did they run into? And then you can tag pieces. You can tag pictures. You can tag videos. You can just tag the workflow if you need to. Tag the asset. And so you can actually start getting these trends so that they're searchable for the guys that are coming maybe behind you. Maybe if a salesperson sold a job, now your install team's coming behind you, or if a service team is going to be back out there in the next 6 months. So we're democratizing this knowledge where this job knowledge, where today it's in very disparate systems. You don't really have visibility much into your fellow technicians' jobs very much outside of maybe some random pictures, right? But when you go all in on that job, you're capturing that information from that technician's brain into a digital platform that can now be democratized among other technicians. And that is ultimately our huge goal here at XOi, is to really share that knowledge. If we can help just a little bit with the skilled trades gap, that's where our platform can really shine.
And I agree 100%. And I love that, because one of the things that I like to teach guys, and I think really makes you stand out once again with the customer, is even if you have a whole bunch of service guys, I teach them to all follow the same process. We're all doing the same thing. So we provide that consistent, amazing service. But knowing the history of the unit, I used to pull over before I got to a customer's house, and I would be going through the CRM to see what was offered, the issues they had, because customers, nothing they hate more than when they go in, they've had a problem, and they're like, yeah, that motor was messing up last time Jimmy was here. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't know that. But if you're like, yeah, I remember about, Jimmy was out, you know what I mean? If you already know that information, it goes a long way that you know what you're doing. You're prepared to be there. So knowing that kind of stuff, I love that. Not saying they won't still have to look at a few things, but once again, now we're making them more efficient to be able to do things the right way. And I love anything and everything that helps technicians do that.
Yeah, Gil. Yeah, that you're speaking right to our platform, and that is the core of what we are trying to do and what we are doing. And I'm actually going to tease a little future feature we're about to roll out, what we call AI issue identification. And it speaks to exactly what you just said, Gil. If you are on site somewhere, you capture an equipment data plate, you get that model serial number automatically. We are now looking back at past jobs for that serial number, and we're using AI to summarize for the technician. Hey, did you know 6 months ago there was a leaky compressor here? Did you know last time somebody was out here they had a wiring problem on the control board? It literally summarizes the past jobs by that serial number in a very summarized format for the technician. I don't have to go sifting through jobs. I don't have to go sifting through my CRM databases. I'm reading these long work summaries. We instantly surface that to the technician after they capture the data plate. That's a feature that's not rolled out yet. It's in early access, but it is coming here very, very soon.
Holy shit. I'm curious to wonder even how that works. Like, how does that get all that information? That's sweet. Because I was going to ask you, one of the things I had written down is I know AI is huge nowadays, and you use it to your advantage. So I was going to say, what can customers expect because of the proved AI and the data integration? But that right there, I mean, that is sweet.
Well, that one, I wasn't really planning on talking about that feature with your audience today, but you hit right on the head of what we're about to release. So I kind of got excited there about sharing that with your audience. But AI, you can't really get anywhere without talking about AI nowadays. In XOi, we are very much deliberate about about artificial intelligence. It is all about that second piece you just said. It's the data. Do you use ChatGPT at all, Gil?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and ChatGPT is great, but it's also wild. It's like the wild, wild west. You could say, tell me a story about a tree, and it can go all over the place. So it's only as good, or it only executes as well as the data that's feeding it.
The better question you ask, the better information it gives back.
Exactly, and prompting it right and things like that. But the data that's feeding that information that's coming back to you needs to be in a very structured and uniformed way. So when you think about HVAC, I go back to what I said earlier. You have all these different types of configurations. You have all these different models. You have all these different manufacturers. It runs the gamut. AI is going to go wild, wild west on you if you're not deliberate about what you're doing. And so that is where we are very deliberate about structuring our data, which is our premium insights we're talking about, making sure it's in a very uniform way so that as we start rolling out more and more of our AI features, it is going to be executing at a very, very high level and solving a real pain point for technicians. We rolled out an AI feature I think it was this time last year is when we first rolled it out. And it was a work summary, Gil. So I've been on a lot of ride-alongs with technicians, and one thing that they never say is that they love writing work summaries.
Yeah, no.
Technicians are usually, and it runs the gamut, right? You usually get guys that say it was broken, I fixed it, and then you get the guy that writes a novel, And so we released an AI summary feature that essentially takes all the workflow data you put into our app. You click a button and it automatically spins up a professional written work summary for that technician, solving a ton of time efficiency and really making sure that, it's not just a professional summary for customers. It's also saving a ton of time for a technician in the field as well. So really making sure we're going all in on what a pain point is for technicians and ensuring we are implementing a real solution for them. We're not just duct taping an AI feature to our app.
No, that makes sense. And I also want to tell people, people are like, oh, AI is going to ruin the world. It's robots. Guys, that's not what AI is. Okay. It's a whole, it's a whole bunch of data, and AI just has the path to be able to get the information when you need it. It's not a robot. That's not what it is. So, just make sure that you don't get confused. That's, AI is amazing. Speaking of AI, I'm going to do this real fast before I forget. I want to give a shout out to my good friend, Mr. Tersh Blissett, one of the hosts of the Service Business Mastery podcast. He was also HVAC Podcast of the Year in 2024. Very, very good friend of mine. They have done a bunch of AI stuff for all the different CRM, Service Titan, HouseCall Pro, Sarah, you name it. They have these free things. So if somebody's doing that, interested in AI, go check that out. But happy birthday, Tersh. I love you, brother. See you soon, man. So you said AI, maybe think of him because him and his co-host, my other buddy, Josh, AI, they eat, sleep, and breathe AI.
Yeah. That's great, man. Well, it's the way of the future. And I think I'm an optimist when it comes to AI. I think there's a lot of people out there that are very afraid of it. But I think if done right, I think it can really, really change a lot of industries, particularly the HVAC industry. But again, it goes back to this whole story we're telling here. It goes back to the data, man. And if you have good, collected, structured data, it can execute at an incredibly high level. So.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious, and I'd love to see your take, because now I'm kind of like, how are all these new tools going to affect just the everyday operation of a business? Like, my mind is already rolling, but I mean, in your mind, how do you see that helping just the overall business operations?
Yeah, I mean, overall business operations with AI, I think it's going to be from, I've been, again, I was at some work conferences this year, and it was an AI chatbot answering a customer's phone call. That's an inbound phone call to an HVAC contractor, right? And it's essentially, it could be midnight and there's nobody even working, but the HVAC contractor answered the phone. It's AI. And it sounded like a real woman answering the phone. and saying, what's your problem? Well, my heater is not working. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get you scheduled, blah, blah, blah. And it went through this whole. So when you think about a customer journey, calling an HVAC contractor to getting it scheduled, to dispatching a technician, dispatch AI. I know a lot of CRM databases are using AI to smart dispatch now, getting the right technician on the right job. And then you have an application like XOi that's going to capture that equipment data. It's going to surface the technician previous work history using AI. It can use AI to give them resources on how to properly resolve the problem, how to fix the problem. And then you just kind of think about this whole wheel here, where now that's just going to enable a technician to get the tools to do the job quicker, to close out the job quicker. And then it's just a wheel that's just feeding in. That next customer is going to call, and it's your every part of that customer journey is going to interact with AI in some way. But for the better, I really think it's going to take it to the next level, to where service is just going to be that much better. Technicians are going to be equipped with resources that much better to do the job quicker and accurately.
Yeah.
So that's where I think this is going as far as artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I agree with that again, and I love that. And while you're talking, it made me think about somebody who came up as a technician, and then I went into management. I always promised myself that when I became a manager, I would always be the manager that I never had. And I felt like too many times I was out there and I was by myself. I needed help. It was late. Couldn't get somebody to answer the phone. I felt like, you get those feelings like, nobody's there to support you or have all these tools to help you, and stuff like this, to be able to have that. To me as a technician, it feels like I have all the support that I need. I'm giving all these tools, not just, pliers, wrenches, gauges, but, the information that I need, what was broken, how to fix it, all this kind of stuff. You're just setting technicians up for success. And that breeds growth. That breeds good culture. It just breeds what you need to have a successful service business, in my experience. And I've been doing this for 25 years. It's all I know.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's right. Yeah, it's you are more supported now as a field service technician than probably ever before. And it's really, the only roadblock is up here. It's in your head. If you have a negative view on this stuff, it's probably going to make your job a lot harder. You got to have an open view. This technology that's being rolled out is only trying to help technicians. And so when you kind of go into it with an open mind like that, and really helping you just serve your customer better, but get the equipment fixed quicker, more accurately, it can really take you and level you up to the next level. I love that, though. You're exactly right, Gil. It really is supporting technicians to another level.
And also, sadly, some of these shitbag owners out there, there's no excuses now either. These services aren't free, but they're not astronomically expensive, and you got to spend money to make money. So, that's how it works. So having these resources available, the good companies are going to be on the forefront, as they always are. And then we're also going to get, people are going to start to fall in line where something like this is going to be the norm. If you don't have it, then what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? So I love that. And I love to see these features being rolled out. Oh, we got another one that's not Jason. Mr. Dave's not here. Thank you for being here. Says, I use XOi every day, and I've been using the AI more and more. So you got some love.
Awesome, Dave.
It's your nation, man.
Awesome, Dave. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's great to hear, because you guys are at the core of what we do. To hear that feedback, especially somebody in my role, I'm a customer success manager. Your success is my success. And man, that just brings it all around for us. We wake up every day at XOi thinking about a technician journey. So really appreciate that, Dave, man. That's awesome. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, that is cool to hear. And I will say this, and I'm always honest. I don't never have to come in here and blow smoke up people's ass. And I've got to see a lot of the new digital things that are coming out, whether it's an existing company adding on to stuff and stuff like that. I feel like you guys got it right in the beginning and then you could grow, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of other people, they tried and it was like, and then it gave people a bad taste in their mouth. And then they fixed it and made it a little bit better, but it was hard to overcome that initial, rather than just waiting and making sure you got it out and you got it right. It was push it to market, push it to market. We have investors, we got to do this. And then when they finally got it to be somewhat okay, people were like, I don't even want to use it now. And I feel like you guys came out with something that was awesome. It was useful. You could see yourself using it, and the growth, like what it could do, well, like the future was exponential. So now that's why I was so excited to see this, because I have visioned all this stuff when I talked to Aaron years ago. So that's why seeing this stuff is like, this is fucking awesome. I love this.
Yeah. I think it's the foresight of our owners and our founders, and Aaron and Anthony and JP, that they found a very particular moment in time for a field service provider, and that is the job. And I know I keep harping on that, but Gil, what you're saying, how we've kind of did it right was that moment in time was so underserved, and still largely is very underserved by technology. The job. Again, all the technology coming out in this space is very much around running the business, which is important. It's incredibly important. But the job is critical. You cannot forget about that. And after years of going through our job workflows and focusing on the job and serving and enabling our hero, which is the technician, we realized we have this huge, robust data set of equipment information, of issue and symptom and resolution information. And so that is where we were very well positioned and are very well positioned to now say, okay, we got all this model serial numbers and manufacturers in this database. What else can we glean from this? Oh, we can glean refrigerant. We can glean BTUs. We can start gleaning a life expectancy. And then when you tie that into the interaction data with the symptom, issue, and resolution data, now we're talking about something that's very magical and something that is a very, very unique data set. But it all started, Gil, with just focusing on the tech and focusing on giving them tools to use it on that specific job moment in time. And that has led us down this path where we're now going very, very all in on the equipment data and the technician data to really start serving these commercial buildings, these asset owners on another level, to really transform a field service provider to an advisor. That's the goal. And that's where this data is getting us to.
I love that. And it's music to the ears to most of my audience. Most of the people that support me are technicians in one way or the other, commercial, industrial, residential. I do have, a lot of business owners, managers, since I've evolved in my career, but most of them are tech. So when somebody comes on here and says, we're doing this for the technicians, you might as well be, giving them one of those because they love it. I had a guest on not long ago talking about CSRs, and they were all getting mad. Like, we're the most important, we're the technicians. But having that information to make their job better, all the technicians I know that are good at what they do, that is extremely important to them, and knowing that they can have those resources at their fingertips is absolutely amazing. I don't know. We don't necessarily, because we're almost towards the end here to close out, but somebody asked how you guys are billed. Is it per user, per company, per month? So we don't have to get into numbers. That's something they can find out. But they were asking that question.
Yeah, no, it is per user. It is per user. That's primarily how we bill. And that's standard across, all software industry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured. So Rookie has been good enough. Anybody that's interested, he has the link in the chat. So you can go click on it to check out their website, and it's not in there now, but when this goes live, the audio, their website will be in the show notes. So anybody listening to this audio that wants to check it out, please go. I suggest that you go click on that link and go check it out, because I think this is something that I want to add, to the company that I'm at now, because I love this. And it just, what makes it awesome is it coincides with what I've been teaching for years. It just gives them more resources and helps them do what I've already been teaching them to do. So it's not like, oh, if I use this, I have to change how I do things. No, it's like, keep doing it the same way. This is just like giving you a turbocharger, to be able to really get in there. So that's what I love, that it's going to help us, the people that are doing things right. It's going to help you do those things even better and more efficiency. I love efficiency. I love being efficient at what we do. You can't waste time. That's just, you can't do that in business. That's going to be a downfall to everybody. That's just the nature of the beast.
Right. Yeah. It's our app is it will save you time on the job. A lot of those little pain points, today, technicians listening to this, how many of you are writing out manufacturer, model number, serial number by hand? How many of you are just taking a picture of that, and then the back office is calling you saying, you took a blurry picture, go back out there and capture it again? Or how many of you are just tired of writing these long summaries that your boss is telling you need to be writing every single time? And there's a number of different things we offer: service manuals, wiring diagrams. And there's just, exactly, when you think of just normal on-the-job pain points, XOi can alleviate a lot of that and provide a lot of efficiency for you out in the field to really help support you to just make sure that equipment gets fixed right for the first time, and ultimately make sure that it's satisfying your end customers.
Yeah. And the other thing I love is some of these other things that are out there, they're like those, they're nice to have. Like they're quirky, they're cool. Like it would be cool to have it, but something like this is kind of like, you want to need to have, because it's not giving you something that you don't necessarily like. Some of these things give you something that maybe you don't need on every call, It's a nice to have thing. Whereas this is giving you what you need on every single call. We all find this information. We all need this information. It's not a nice to have. It's whether we're going to find it manually or something's going to pop up and just give me information that I need to be able to do this call properly in all industries. That's the other one. Some work great for residential, suck at commercial. Do good at commercial, suck at residential. The fact that this gives us what we need and covers all those platforms, that's a winner in my book,
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. At the end of the day, it's focusing on the technician and making sure that those little mundane tasks can be easily automated, and you can do it on every job. I would always say that one of the best things that happens is, let's say we have a technician that maybe they leave the platform for a certain amount of time. We have it happen every once in a while, but they call us back very quickly, and it'll be a month or 2 months and 3 months down the road, and they say, I completely miss you guys. Like, I miss being able to just take a picture of the data plate. I miss being able to look at past jobs and search those tags. I miss the AI work summaries that you guys offer. I miss the service manuals that you guys used to give to me after taking a picture. And so when you hear that, when you take a tool away, I always think it really shines the value, because it shows the pain points it solves for, right? It's like, oh man, I stopped using XOi for a month, and all of these things just took me way more time. It was just way more mundane of a task on every single job. That's when you really realize the value of that tool that you're using.
Yeah, hey, it's that chick you take for granted until she's gone, and you're like, damn.
Exactly.
She's got a new boyfriend.
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly right.
So, yeah, man. Well, I guess I have, we're out of time, but I have one quick question: is how does this, like, with the integrations, does this like go into the current CRM you're using, or you're still in a different app and then the information just goes over?
That's right, Gil. Yeah. So good question. So a lot of folks out there are probably thinking about, I have an FSM platform or CRM database. Where does XOi fit? We integrate with a number of different FSMs. You can actually go to our website that Gil said. We have an integration section. If you go to the top of our website, you can actually view the integrations and the different platforms we integrate with. Most major FSMs, field service management platforms, your Service Titans and things like that, we do integrate with. If we do not have an integration, we're always open to talking. We have an open API, and we're always looking to integrate into more field service management platforms. But to answer your question, it is something that you launch into our app. If we have an integration, it is very much just a switch over into our app that you just click an XOi button, brings you into our application, and then we pass our data back over into that CRM database or that field service management platform. Now, at a higher level, if you're a very, very big company and you have like business intelligence tools and things like that, that is our enterprise level reporting, which we can also offer. All this premium insight data we're talking about with refrigerant and all sorts of different origination equipment data, we can tie into your BI tools, enterprise reporting software, where we're passing that critical job information, equipment data into your system as well. So it's very flexible, it's very customizable, and something we're always willing to discuss and work with the customer on.
That is awesome, man. Well, I hate to see this show end, Adam. This has been awesome. I'm so glad that you guys came back on to be able to talk about this, because I know that it was already awesome. And now seeing what you guys have added is absolutely amazing. I truly think that you guys knocked it out of the park. Please tell Aaron I said hello. It's been a while, but tell him I said hello and thank you. But yeah, man, thank you guys for coming on. This was amazing. And I'll definitely be in touch, because this is something that I want to incorporate where I am now. So, yeah, if you have anything to close out, the floor is yours. But thank you so much for coming on. This has been awesome.
Yeah, no, I don't, outside of just kind of, these enhanced features we've rolled out this year, if going all in on the job site and really understanding and mapping your asset universe is important to you, and understanding equipment much further than just beyond maybe a model serial number and a manufacturing date. If you really want to start getting into refrigerant and life expectancy, air filter sizes off of one model serial number picture, give us a call. Let us know. We can at least set up a demo for you so you can see the platform and see what we can offer. And if it's something that's going to align with your 2025 goals and initiatives, please give us a call. We're more than happy to show you, how we can help. You can go to our website, like Gil said. You can go to our LinkedIn profile if you check out XOi there. YouTube, we're on YouTube as well if you search XOi. But again, man, our whole ethos and everything we do, it's all for you. It's all for the technicians. So thank you, Gil, for having me on and having XOi on, and looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'll have to reach out to Aaron, guys. Okay. Make sure that if you guys go check him out, say that Gil from HVAC Uncensored sent you, and maybe we'll try to get like a discount code or something to get more of you getting on there. Okay. We'll try to look at it.
That's above my pay grade. That's above my pay grade, Gil, but I'll see. We'll see if we can do something.
Yeah. But definitely go check it out. I think this is definitely awesome, and people need to check it out. It's going to give you the information you should already be getting, but just make you more efficient for sure. So, Adam, once again, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk about this. I'm going to go ahead and close the show out, man, but thank you so much, brother.
Yeah. Thank you, Gil. I appreciate it, man. Take care.
Yep. You too, my friend. Guys, so that is awesome. And I do think that you all should go check out XOi. That's why I was excited about this. Like I said, there's a lot of these ones that come on that I think are nice to have. XOi is one of the ones that I think is the future, and it's going to set you apart from the competition. I really, really do. And it's something that I'm going to be incorporated in the business that I'm running now, because it's going to help set us apart. So awesome show tonight. It's so amazing to hear about the stuff that they're doing. And sometimes those little things that save time is awesome. And you guys as technicians, from somebody who runs a business, of course, we want you guys to be, efficient, profitable, make money, all that kind of stuff. But I want you guys, when you make money, you make the company money. And like I said earlier, I want you guys to be home for dinner. So now you can be more efficient, accomplish more, have all this information at your fingertips to really be able to serve your customers at the highest level and still be able to be home for dinner. And I think that's a win-win. It's amazing. I think this thing really, 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 hits the mark. I really think they knocked it out of the park. So go check this out. If you have the ability, call them, set up a demo, take a look at it. If you don't, go to your service manager, go to your boss tomorrow and be like, I watched this amazing podcast, my buddy Gil, HVAC Uncensored, and they were talking about this company called XOi. I think you guys need to check it out. You guys should definitely do that. You're the ones that are going to benefit from it. All right. With that being said, please make sure that you go follow the podcast on all the social media sites. Make sure you download the audio podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And if you haven't already, please leave me a 5-star review so we can help get this out to more and more people. If you don't think it's worth 5 stars, email me. You can use info@HVACuncensored.com, or you can still use the HVAC Uncensored at Gmail. And let me know what you think I can do better. You guys are my end user. You're my customer, so I love the feedback. As long as you're not a dick. If you send me an email and you're talking like an asshole, I won't even read it. But if you give me honest, legitimate feedback, I always listen to that. And I appreciate people who do that. All right. With that being said, let's close this thing out. Guys, remember, please be safe out there. I want all of you to make it home the same way you left, whether it's driving. Okay. It was raining cats and dogs here today. It's crazy on the roads. Keep your head on the swivel, man. Be careful. Pay attention to what you're doing. Make sure the breaker's turned off. One of our installers today, guy that knows what he's doing, been doing this for 20 plus years, but made a simple mistake where he took a razor knife and was cutting off the end of a wire tie and jammed right into his hand all the way down to the bone and had to go get stitches. So be smart, all right? Think about those things. I want all of you to make it home the same way you left. The last thing I ever want to do, whether I know him or not, is to hear that one of my HVAC or blue collar in general brothers and sisters, something happened to you from something that could have been avoided. Okay? So please, please, please be safe out there. Next is do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. All right? If you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability, or guess what? Don't fucking do it. Don't half-ass things, man. It takes more time to do things wrong than it does to do it right. I promise you. All right. There's no reason to cut corners. Keep honing your craft, master your craft. Keep being the best version of you. All right. Whether that's you being better, taking online classes, listening to a podcast, reading a book, or maybe it's your side hobby, whatever it is, keep growing. There's no such thing as staying the same. All right. I firmly believe that you're either moving forward or you're going backwards. There's no such thing as standing still. The other thing is, if you are really good at what you do, help give back to the industry, man. Teach the young guys at your work, show them stuff, teach them and make them better. It's rewarding. I love it. All right. So do that. And then just give a shit about people, man. Care about other people. And I feel like if you put good in the world, good comes back. And that's just good karma. All right. So with that being said, I love each and every one of you. I appreciate the support that you guys give me. I hope all of you had an amazing Thanksgiving, even though we're a little bit past it, in case you didn't hear the last show. But with that being said, man, have a great week. Please stay safe. Go check out all the other amazing podcasts, the other shows of all of our friends. Support that community. And with that being said, man, I'll talk with you mofos next week. All right? See ya. Almost forgot the outro.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.
See ya, bitches.